I've been a reporter in some way, shape, or form since 2001, but my first internship in the spring of 2006, actually. Spring of 2006 was when I had my internship at the Long Beach Post-Telegram for 6 months. And I got a $300 stipend at the end of it. Transferred up to San Francisco State, your school, for a year. And that's really where I fell in love with journalism.
What role does social media play in your career?
It plays a huge role now that I learned how to use it. I'm a private person, so it's not part of my everyday routine outside of work. I learned its value when I was working on the LA Times national desk in 2012, helping cover Hurricane Sandy from the desk here in LA. And that thing's a world away. It's on the other side of the country. So now it plays a role in my everyday life. I'm on the breaking news desk here, and I have two computer screens in front of me as I'm talking to you right now. One has my work on it and web pages. The other is just it's TweetDeck, and I have 3 different lists of Twitter feeds just on my screen at all times while I'm at work. So I rely on it to see news in other places that I miss, to find witnesses to things that I cover, to see what the competition is doing. It's just a live feed of what's going on in the world. So it's an integral part of my everyday job now.
What is your favorite aspect of reporting?
I'm really into civil rights and the way law enforcement's relationship with the public. I think the more stories you find, the nuances of every person's case, you learn more about the system, you learn more about the world. So to me, it's constantly learning more about human behavior and the world we live in.
How often do you do stories with interactive or multimedia components?
Still, even like still photos I use every single day in almost every single post, but infographics, more so when we have a different kind of weather here. California obviously doesn't have the biggest change in weather, but when we report on El Nino, wildfires, any of those things, we use graphics. For San Bernardino, obviously we use graphics in that. So I'd say at least a few times a week, either incorporating some tweets, video and tweets are pretty big. A lot of times what multimedia people will do is just pull from our reporting. They'll look at our the things we've reported, and then they'll just use information from that and pull captions from that. If they have questions, then they'll send us an email or just come over and ask us. Multimedia people that are doing larger projects, people that are working in part of investigations, people that are working on the political side. I know at least for some of the projects I've worked on, I've worked with at least like 6 or 7 people, and that's just for me in Metro on a few stories. I did a story with our transportation reporter, Laura Nelson, and that started with me and myself and the other reporters pitching the story to our editors, then sitting down with that editor and like the editor above them and kind of mapping out how do we want to tell this story. Do we want video elements? Do we want graphics? Do we want photo? If so, what do we want? And then we'd pull in a photo editor who would discuss, basically what is possible, what's feasible given the resources, because, people are working on other projects as well. Over weeks and months, kind of setting, intermediate timelines, making sure that everyone is staying on point to get their part done. So it's like that, lots of routine meetings every few weeks to see and seeing how you can adjust to it and maybe change the art if you have to, that kind of stuff. From creating it or having the idea to writing the story, getting the data, doing the video, it probably took us I'd say 4 to 6 months.
How about any tips or advice for striving journalists?
Certainly this generation coming up that's still in school, I don't know, maybe people will not be held accountable for what they put on social media when they're younger, and then everything will be okay. But if that's not the case, people should be wary of what they put on social media, because then also just work your ass off. Oh God, be honest. Do not burn your sources.